Y'all been on my workout. It is so important to move your body. Like, I don't think anybody understands. Like, we all want to look good, we want to feel good, but moving your body, very important for your mental health. So I would need to eat afterward. All right. Yeah, just real quick. So we're not gonna hold you guys long, right? So this is just like, honestly, I wanted to get on here and shed some light on, because we all want to get healthy, right? And people normally don't get excited about health until they are either in a situation where they've been told that, you know, they have to fix a problem, or like they've been diagnosed with something, or there's a malfunction happening of some sort that is causing them to be restricted in their everyday life. So I just wanted to talk to Dr. Tao and kind of give you guys like a cosign on how important it is to take care of your mental health and the links between your mental health and your gut health. Because to be honest, I mean, it's not separate.
It's not.
And we always separate everything, don't we?
That's true. That's very true.
And that's what I like about you. You don't really do that. I mean, you separate in your videos and you talk about specific areas and organs, but you also have an understanding that everything is it's pretty much one thing.
Yeah, it's all connected. It's funny because even if you look at the colon, if you turn it sideways and bring it up, it looks like just like the brain.
What? Really?
It's like a sideways brain, basically. Hey,
wow.
How y'all doing?
Hey.
So,
and I'm a plant-based chef for anybody who doesn't know, but because of Dr. Tao, I have renamed myself as a culinary alchemist.
There you go. Yep. Because it means out comes me.
Out comes me in the food and the energy, and you guys should check it out. It's ITS_ALLIVE on Instagram.
Yes, for sure. So yeah, so our gut health is going to affect how we process truth. You see.
Right.
So what I call the amino acids of truth is we have tyrosine, phenylalanine, melatonin, and serotonin. So what happens is whenever you perceive an outside reality, it has to hit these particular amino acids to be perceived as being true. So what happens if someone's not eating correctly, it creates what we call a false positive. So what it does is it causes people to perceive reality, what is real to be false and what's false to be real. So you can't really convey truth to somebody whose gut bacteria is not in its proper biome or ecosystem, because many times the diseases that we have in here is the diseases that we're causing out there.
Out there, correct.
So it's just a reflection. So this is the ecosystem.
Yes.
So that means you're destroying this ecosystem by your habits, which is causing
that starts here. This is the root.
Yes.
And then
it
reflects out.
It can go either way.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes as a child we don't have that. We have more leeway as a child. You see what I'm saying? But as you become more nefarious and more, cantankerous in your actions, then the destruction that you're causing out there will eventually show up in here. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. So it's safe to say that your environment can also be. So I have a client and she's a singer and she has high blood pressure. Okay. And she wants to take high blood pressure pills, and I was explaining to her that the blood pressure is doing what it's supposed to do according to its environment. Although a lot of people argue, I can't just change my environment. I can't move, or I can't, I can't change jobs right now, because most of the time, our environment, like he just said, it can go either way. It's inner or outer. But in her case, that her outer environment, her exterior environment is affecting her inner environment.
That's true.
So, and she wants to take a pill to stop something that's natural,
Yes.
which is the blood pressure flowing and doing what it needs to do according to its environment. Am I correct?
That's true. Because we're looking at the plate just as merely food. We're not seeing culture at the plate.
Yes,
See, what your culture does is supposed to create an immune system for you.
correct.
So before it can penetrate the actual avatar, it has to have a defense at the barrier, which is your cultural paradigm, your rituals, your things that you do.
Whatever you do,
Yeah,
your
so
daily habits.
Exactly. So
And
Mhm.
that's where I come in at. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
That's where I come in at because I struggle. And I have struggled. I came up, in a very unconventional, like my whole lifestyle was just, when you live in certain areas and you're exposed to certain lifestyle, you don't understand, what you're doing to your body, the habits that you're creating every day. And that's where I come in and that's what I specialize in because I'm experienced in trying to replace a bad habit with a good habit. It's very challenging.
Yeah, it can be.
If you've been living this certain way and then you know better, you have to do better. But then it's like you hear these, like everybody's on live right now and we're getting lit right now. We're like excited about what we're saying, but tomorrow are you gonna, implement these things to change these habits, and who are you gonna deal with to hold you at an accountability?
Yeah.
Hold you at an accountability.
You're right. You said it perfectly.
Level that's gonna get you to the next level in your health journey. You know what I mean? And what Dr. Tao is good at, like you just explained, like I don't think we understand that the setup. I'm not gonna blame people, but the setup is to alter your thinking process at a cellular level. Like you're not understanding that you just want this donut, or you see this commercial and it's so, it's like, oh, it's just ice cream, oh, it's just candy. But it's like literally this over time, the compound effect will affect your thinking. It's going to affect how you move. When you watch movies and you're depressed about something, are you feeling down? Instead of getting up and going to do jumping jacks and push-ups and running down the block and listening to something that's going to feed your mind, or you're drinking a green smoothie, you go do what? Get something to drink, some alcohol, go to the bar. Or you go get some ice cream. Or you go eat cakes and chocolates and carbs, and you do things that are counterproductive to what it is that is going to contribute to your overall mental health, and which again affects your overall physical health. If your mental ain't right, everything else gonna suffer.
That's true. So the mind governs the body and the spirit governs the mind. So our mind is guided by our spirit. So sometimes the food is designed to attack the spirit, which will attack the mind, which the body's just going to reflect that. So the spirit can be broken. People think that the spirit can't, or is resilient, but it is resilient, but it can be broken as well. So this is why they talk about alcohol. They call it spirits. You see, because they're trying to attack that part of your molecular structure.
And I struggled with alcohol not like I was an alcoholic, but I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to drink.
Gotcha.
It was something that I didn't see anything wrong with.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was first coming around you, you were like,
Oh.
what did you tell me? You were able to see. You knew that he knew that I drank. He didn't, he didn't say, I know you're an alcoholic. But he's like, I know you drink because of what?
Kidneys are stressed.
You said that my kidneys are stressed. And why did you say that?
Because the eyes will show it, like rapidly the eyes will get more darker. And that darkness is just because the body's trying to repair that part of the body. So a flood of melanin will go there to repair. That means that part of the body needs a lot of attention to it. So the eyes are representative of the kidneys. So we have the law of ones and law of twos. Things that show up in twos means it's a two organ. It has two of them. You have two lungs, two kidneys.
Right.
You have the law of ones, which means it's going to show on one part throughout the body.
Right.
So you have one stomach or one liver. You see what I'm saying? So that's how you can diagnose what's going on. So we see something happening double in the body somewhere, we know it's a two organ.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? So, and this is what we teach. You know, how to read the body, because the body can't lie.
It can't.
It can't lie. It can't distort truth or reality. It can only display what the mind and spirit are putting into it. So.
And why so many people want to search outside themselves to find answers about their own bodies, to be honest, you don't have to do that. Like if you get with people like Dr. Tao, like me, Chef Jewel, or just people like us, or even if you just go within, because what I'm saying is that we're going to show you how to listen to your own body. We're going to help you understand your body, help you to get to the point where you can understand, not help you understand. You're going to be able to do it on your own. People don't do it for you, you do it. Like, you take the action. Dr. Tao can tell you what to do. He can tell you what's wrong with you. He can tell you what to do. But how you go about taking that information and applying it to your life is the biggest deal of it all. Like, you cannot read all these books and know all this stuff. People just know too much, and this area is so oversaturated. The health and wellness, it's like, oh, take this pill, oh, do this. It's just, it can really take the average person that really doesn't know into a spiral, and actually make you worse.
Yeah.
You know, and you're not getting anywhere. You have to go within. You have to take the time out to really listen and understand what you need.
What's going on, Renata?
To get, huh?
There's Renata on here.
Hey, Renata.
I'm gonna put your screen name on here.
Okay, yeah.
Was it Queen of Second Chances?
No, it's ITS
ITS
underscore ALL
Okay.
IVE and underscore. And the nonprofit is Queen of Second Chances, so you can put that as well if you want.
So it's underscore alive underscore?
Yeah.
Okay.
So It's Alive is pretty much a plant-based company where we create and serve foods to over plant-based foods to food-stricken areas, because those are a lot of the places that need to understand how food affects us, you know. And it's not like I want to put people on strict diets, because I make my food, Dr. Tao's food, it's really clean eating, but it's good. You know, it's like it's like getting a guilty pleasure for free. Yeah. You don't get in trouble for this one. This guilty pleasure is totally free. So, you know, that's why I like introducing my foods to people. Now, on the other hand, the Queen of Second Chances is a nonprofit, and you know, it all really works together, because I'm just focusing on mental health, but mental health and food go hand in hand. So I'm just trying to bring that together for people, and that's really my life's work, and it's really like my passion to make sure that we understand that. And every time I can spark something in somebody, I'm just like excited, because I'm like, they get it. They'll call me and be like, oh, Jewel, you just helped me, you know. And it's like, I love that, you know, because I have the ability to understand the other side of it. None of us are perfect. Dr. Tao is not, you ain't perfect, right?
No, far from
What you be messing up on?
Hey, I mess up every day on something.
We all mess up, but that doesn't mean that we're not trying to daily implement what we know and know to be true to help us be okay health-wise. Who wants to be going to the hospital because something's wrong and they scared to death, and then they say, oh, we're going to have to admit you, and then you can't leave? Who wants that?
Exactly.
And doesn't it feel better when your family members aren't sick? Like, I'm so blessed.
We could focus on what needs to be focused on. You know, even people who are religious, you know, it would make no sense. You see a lot of it in the church. People are just sick, but it doesn't make any sense, because it takes away from their worship. You know what I mean? If that's what you subscribe to. So my heart hurts. Like, I feel so sad when I see people limping and like, just they don't it's literally move your body. Yeah.
pray, do yoga, prayer, meditation, yoga. It's like unify. It's almost like the unification of connecting with yourself. That's all it is. So move your body, prayer, meditation, sleep well, eat well. Do you have to be perfect in all these areas? No, but it needs to be happening. It needs to be. You can't say, "Oh, I know, yeah, I was gonna do that." Like, you have to do it in order for it to work. Every day, it's a thing, you know. So and Dr. Tao is like the best at breaking down into simplest form and really getting you to understand the internal part of it. And I want to help you translate that, what he knows, into your everyday life and kind of putting it in there. Just like when somebody tell you, oh, you need to do this with your child. So you go home and you're like, well, how do I implement what I learned with my child, right? Because as a parent, I'm using that as an example because that's how hard it is to implement good habits over bad habits. Because the child is like your autopilot.
Yeah.
Your autopilot is like, man, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And you like, yo, we doing that.
Yeah. Children do what you do, not what you say.
So, like, you have to retrain that autopilot. And the kids, same thing. Like, I had to implement these lifestyle changes in the middle of me raising children. My children are older now. One's in college, one's 23. And when I did the transition, it was challenging. And a lot of women go through that and they like, oh, what am I going to feed the kids? And so I come in and try to give you tips. And I mean, I offer discovery sessions. You can book me on It's Alive. And I offer a lot of different, I'm very versatile. So I work with whatever's going on with you and whatever's happening in your life, so that we can execute. Because that's all I care about.
Yeah, the huge part of it is motivation, staying motivated. And where motivation drops, that's where discipline comes up. So you gotta have motivation and discipline. Without those two, you're gonna falter. You know what I mean? So I think you're great at keeping people motivated as well, along with the information that you share. So I'm a bit more stoic when it comes. Why does that make you serious?
He probably wants some food. He think he can con you into it. See, we have him come over here and con him into giving us. He's exclusive.
Exclusive restaurant.
It is. You better say it.
But yeah, so just keeping those two married together with discipline and motivation, and that's a good recipe because habit means habitual. It means where you live mentally. So it's hard sometimes to break those neural nets that we have already structured. It's kind of like trying to learn a new language. You know, you got to kind of stick with it at first.
And it's tough, y'all. That's where I want to stick with you with it because I'm doing it, you know, and I'm doing it every day, and I've been doing it for a while, and I'm still struggling because I have to be like, you have to tell yourself. And my son, he's a student athlete, and he gives me motivation sometimes. And I asked him because he does 3-a-day workouts. And I mean, you got to think, they're in college. The dorms are small, the beds are uncomfortable. He's big as hell, the bed little as hell. Like, it's just like not comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, and let's be real. Like, they're not able to eat like they, you know.
Exactly.
He's probably happy I'm not there to make him eat right. But the thing is, I asked him, I said, son, do you ever get tired? Do you ever get where you don't want to do it? And he said, he said,
hold on 1 second.
Oh, he looking for you.
I got landlord.
Oh, is it? Everybody wants in, child, because let me explain to y'all. The food is, I wish I could turn the camera around and show you how everybody's looking through the window, like, because he's usually closed on Monday. I mean on Wednesday. So normally he wouldn't be here, but the fact that he's here, that people are like, oh, he's here. So let me, jump on it. And there he's like, no. What do you want? He's all good. Is he good?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, well, basically, what he said to me, and it stuck with me. And there's always going to be something that sticks with you when somebody says it. But this stuck with me when my son said, "Well, Mom, some days I don't want to do it." He said, "But I had to tell myself, like, you don't want to do what you're here to do. You don't want to do what you came here to do." And that stuck with me. It's like, yeah, you don't want to do what it takes for you to be in a good space. Because once you get these things under control, it's like autopilot. Like the same way your body runs on autopilot in the negative realm, it can do the same thing for the positive after that hard part, that hard training space. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Like how long have you been?
So about 11 years I've been doing this. So I'm a bit radical though. I went cold turkey on it.
Yeah.
But it's just, we're all disciplined at something. It's just putting it in the right place. You know what I mean? Because someone who smokes cigarettes, that's discipline. You gotta do that every day.
Every day.
So it's not that we lack discipline. We're just not putting it in a way that's beneficial to us.
Correct.
So a lot of people's like, oh, I can't do it. I can't. Well, you're doing something every day.
You're doing something religiously.
You're religiously. You just gotta take it and put it somewhere that's gonna be more beneficial to you, and you keep that up. Some people say it takes about 21 days or so to develop a habit. So
I think that we need to switch our addictions 100%.
Yes.
And I really, really need people to see it like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the easiest way to get, to the next level in your mental. Do you know what you could do if you operating at the highest capacity of your, like, in your full potential? Do you know what you're capable of? It's so much. And you're missing out. God, like, whatever you believe in, I don't know. He's like, oh, so you just gonna stay over there. And he's waiting.
That's true. That's very, very true. So, just keeping that plate in our mind, and we got to see culture, making sure that's the main thing that we see, and knowing that it's not an option. It's not really an option to be within your cultural paradigm. It's mandatory. It's for your own survival. No other species can step outside of what they're supposed to do and still thrive. It's impossible. And we're no different. We have to keep that in the forefront. So you want to go a long time without charging your phone because you would die. So the same thing when it comes to your rituals and your ceremonies and the things that make you a unique people. You have to charge back up. So when people come here, they see things that look familiar or see things that remind them of the culture. So it recharges you. So I sometimes I call the restaurant a recharging port because it's gonna rejuvenate you see.
Yeah.
When you're out here in so-called Matrix, then you really get,
you can get lost quick.
Get zapped. Yeah, your energy gets drained very, very quickly. So just keep it in the forefront, and that's gonna be imperative to you staying on track. When you go home, you have to surround yourself around literature and videos and movies and things that can keep this in your mind, and you come back here and recharge again and stay in charge as much as possible. Luckily, I'm able to do that because this is my day-to-day, so I'm never really stepping outside of my culture. So I know it.
You've set your life up in a way.
I've set it in a way that can make it easier for me to, because this is for my own survival too. It's not just a business.
Yeah.
This is for my own survival, you see. So I'm doing my survival and I'm trying to share
it through. And I can agree with you on that. That's how my business is the same. It's the same thing for me. Like I have to, stay on track.
Exactly. Renata said, if you learn to change the way you think, you can change your life. Yep.
Yes,
that's very
girl.
true.
Thank you, Renata. Yes.
Very true.
And so I was gonna ask you, if somebody, there's a lot of kids in college that are killing themselves.
Yeah.
They're literally killing themselves, and they're creating a mental prison.
Yeah.
What would you say is the number one, and not just children, but there are adults, and we all are creating. And this mental health thing, y'all, I'm so gung-ho on it because it really can take you out of here.
Yeah.
In more ways than one, because it's like a domino effect. And I'm very, very serious about getting this out because I need the children and the parents and the people that are affected by anyone that's around them suffering from mental health, and they really believe that things are just as bad as whatever they think. So what would you, say to them or help?
A lot of that is how we are connected to this three-dimensional space, and a lot of that can be interfered with by this virtual reality, this video games and YouTube and all these types of things they're becoming so involved into it that they can only experience life second dimensionally. And what that means is they have to have a vicarious experience through someone else for them to feel gratified.
Okay, so they don't feel it directly from them. They're not connected to them, basically.
Exactly. So it causes self to separate from
Source.
self.
Okay. Yeah.
So that disconnection breaks up the spirit, mind, and body, where their enjoyment is someone else's enjoyment, but for them, they feel like they're not worthy of enjoyment. So
the moment that they're not, because other people outside influences are always going to let you down, one way or another. Exactly. So you're saying they're focused too much on that.
Yeah, their emotions is tied to that. So
or social media.
Yeah. So when the media has ups and downs and lows, they have it synchronized with it. So they can never really truly control their mind. You see what I'm saying? It's always incumbent beyond for something outside of itself.
Okay.
And on top of that, it causes them to slow their reaction time about 0.2 seconds. So their reaction time is slowed down by these video games and staying on social media. Now, 0.2 seconds may sound like a little bit, but if you watch track and field, that's the difference between first place and last place. So your reaction time is off now. So sports, so you become less coordinated. You drop more, you get more clumsy. You see what I'm saying? Which can slowly kind of wear at someone's spirit and just overall well-being, and causes you to become more accident prone, and that can translate to driving the car, which causes you not to react properly. You see.
So how's the food tying into that alone? Like if that's already going on, then they're sitting there eating a bag of chips while that's happening.
Exactly.
They went and got a Snicker bar and some Skittles. You know what I'm saying? So what is going on now?
Well, that computer screen or the phone is a sun. That's just like a sun itself. So it's drying them out. You see.
Yeah.
So artificial light begets artificial life. So it creates artificial life in your body. You see what I'm saying? So as that stimulates this super cosmetic nucleotide behind the eye, that artificial light is causing an artificial appetite inside the body. You see what I'm saying?
God, ooh, that was powerful. So now they don't want, because my son done did it a lot of times. I don't want that.
Yeah.
He wants.
So now that connection to reality has been usurped. It has been interfered or intersected.
So now their body is craving artificial food.
Exactly, because artificial light begets artificial life. You see.
Wow.
So
I am blowed.
It craves its own likeness.
I'm blowed. Are you blowed? I never heard that before.
So it craves its own likeness. You see. So you can always tell the creator by its creation. You see. So GMO people create GMO foods. You see. We call them Frankenstein foods. So we know the ones doing this are not organic to the earth plane. They're not originally on the planet. So therefore, they can only create out of their own likeness. You see what I'm saying? So we're like, what's going on? Because of that, because of how creation takes place. If someone is to paint a picture or write a book, the creator always puts himself in his work.
So it's like we said earlier, it's the reflection of the inner.
Exactly.
Okay, so like in everyday life, what would I tell the average student, like that's struggling mentally, that feels overwhelmed, that's like, I mean, their classes is too much, their boyfriend cheated on them, their girlfriend cheated on them, and I always told my son, I don't even focus on titles, and my daughter, like, you're too young.
Yeah.
Y'all don't even know who y'all are yet.
Yeah,
but it's another story, another topic, but that's all weighing on them. In their world, they think this is real. Yes. Even in adults, in our world, it's real when you late on your rent, your money funded, or you gotta get funding for this, you can't. Your business this, your landlord. There's all kind of factors on the outside world. So does that just go back to what we said, or is there anything?
That's part of it. The issue is not
anything I'm leaving out.
The issue is not necessarily the internet is not bad in itself, and these things are social media.
It needs to be utilized properly.
Yeah, so we're not practicing what we call digital hygiene, and that has to be implemented and taught into schools. The fact that when you are on the social media for a certain amount of time, it will cause you to seek artificial things more. So
because that world is artificial. Let's be honest.
it is. So many times they're arguing, they get into arguments via text messages and types of things, which you're missing out on facial expressions, voice tones, a lot of things that happen. So it becomes dry or too stoic in the message itself, which can make the message seem more harsh than what it is. Many times the issues have to be resolved old school. You got to go face to face.
I totally agree. I'm actually one of those.
Yeah.
I love to do the face. I mean, let's talk, but
So,
you know.
and that kind of diffuses a lot of things. But when you get into this back and forth on the phone or texting and our social media, it becomes it's unnatural. First of all,
It is.
so you get an unnatural result from it. So we have to be aware of that. But the thing about it, this world's keeping us in these glass boxes and separated by machines all day. So human interaction is becoming more rare and rare on the physical plane.
Agreed.
So
So that would be maybe helpful
yes. Mm-hmm.
to, you know, have some high fives and hugs and
Yeah.
some human interaction, some genuine human interaction. I don't mean go just hopping around.
Yeah, it's the bonding process.
Yeah.
It's how you bond to anything in nature. So every state has a flag, has an anthem, has a color, has a food, has an animal, has something associated that connects to all five senses, or sensors. So the same is true when we're trying to bond to someone else. So y'all would tend to have a great memory, a great date y'all went on, a great food that y'all share, that y'all like, a restaurant. Maybe a song that comes on the radio that you guys both like. You see what I'm saying? So you're connecting through sound, touch, taste, sight. You see? So those are the bonding principles. So they know these things. So they give every state and every country a flag, an anthem, a food. You see what I'm saying? That's how you bond to that city. That's how you bond to that state. The same is true when you bond to an individual. You see?
And you need to create the ultimate bond is with yourself.
Exactly.
If you create a strong bond with yourself, you can't be shaken.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing can move you outside of you because you're so united. And you know, we can talk about some of the daily habits that can unify, you know, us on a cellular level, on a spiritual level, on a physical level. We can talk about that. So you guys should reach out, you know, if you have time, and stay tuned to lives, you know, on It's Alive and also on Queen of Second Chances. I'll be getting on there every morning, so you guys can join me, and I appreciate you.
Well, yeah.
And your time.
Sure, I appreciate
and your
you.
insight on really focusing on what you're eating and, you know, how it affects your mental health.
For sure. And if you guys can follow, because we got some viewers on here too. You want to shout out your page?
Hey, yes. Please join me for lives every morning.
I'll put it back in this comment section too.
And it's ITS_ ALLIVE _
I think I put an apostrophe in there, mistake that popped up.
And It's Alive is the name of the company. And again, we do plant-based foods. I'm a private chef, so, you know, I also do like food banks and stuff like that, but I'm a private chef, so I am gearing towards later on doing something like a stationary brick and mortar, but right now I'm just focusing on, you know,
just building the brand up and just getting the name.
Building the brand up, and you know, I really want the awareness. The awareness part is the biggest key to it, and I do want to make the foods accessible, which I will be doing that. And it would have to be like, I'm doing like pretty much grab and goes because I've teamed up with some other places in Charlotte, so I do grab and goes all the time through other entities. One of them used to be 7th Street Market, but Scott just closed down. Well, he's about to close down. May even start doing it with you, with Dr. Tao, maybe. But we'll see. But I do want to do it where it's like a pre-order thing for people to get things through the week to sustain them, like walnut meats and things of that nature, things that they don't really know how to make or they don't want to make because maybe they don't have time. They feel like it's too much.
Exactly.
So they can just buy it and then pinch off it through the week, you know, and bulks. So that's pretty much how I'm trying to help assist with, you know, making. And then I have recipes on Patreon and stuff like that. And then I also do a cooking show that kind of shows people how to make the foods. Because a lot of people are, when you don't know how to do something, you kind of put it off.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's just, that's what it is. It's not really that you don't want to, you just don't know how.
You gotta get to that. You gotta untangle that mind.
Yeah,
first.
when you get that gap out the way, it's just a gap between not knowing how and wanting to do, and then put it together, and you know we can actually. Hey, Naya Pipe. Hey, Naya Pipe. But yeah, I'm signing off. Until next time, I wish everyone peace, health, wealth, and the time to enjoy them all.
Appreciate you guys.